Hey, what is up everybody? Blades for here, and today I have for you guys another video, Persona 5X. In today's video, guys, we're going to be going ahead and going over both of the artifact sets for both Makoto Nijima as well as Vino. Now, both of these characters will be dropping tomorrow on Global's End, and after that very negative video that I ended up doing today, I decided that I'm going to try and at least be a little bit positive about something at least today. So hopefully you guys are able to enjoy this one a little bit here. I know there's a lot of things happening with Global, and for all of you who are still going to be playing or still going to be investing into Vino and or Makoto, I think this is a good video that you guys should probably look into. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it, and hopefully y'all enjoy. But for the first thing I have to say, both of these characters are absolutely amazing. I've already done a video pretty much showcasing how they both do function. Eventually I'm going to be updating both of their guides as well, because I have not done them a renewed guide with at least my new thumbnail templates and stuff like that. So we will be doing a renewed build guide and everything, where it comes down to everything you truly need to know for these characters. But this is more or less going to be more focused on their artifact sets and how they actually do affect the character. Now, for at least the first one that we're going to start off with, we're going to start off with our girl Vino here, mainly because she is the 4-star of the actual side of things here, and she's an amazing unit. Like, I really did invest a little bit into her, but I've been moving around card sets, and she was unfortunately one of the few characters that I moved around the card set to. Now, the good thing about Vino is there are 3 actual card sets you could really use for this character here. The one that I'm currently using is the one that I do find out really is just the best one to me. The main reason for this is because the current card set that I use here not only does allow you to keep the enemy defense mainly down, which is the whole point of our debuffer here, but it also allows you to keep a little bit of tankiness with this whole card set. This card set that I'm using is called the Control and Departure card set, so you want to go ahead and copy this as well. And this is pretty much the one that I would say is probably the best one. Okay, I'm just being so honest with you. I feel like this is probably the best set effect, especially when it comes down to Vino here. But depending on the person and depending what you're doing, this character can have a different plethora of different set effects. This one, as I did say before, just for having the 4 set immediately, if you guys can take a look here, the 4 set itself, what it's telling you to say is 2 set increases your HP by 12%. While the 4 set here is when you're using your skills to attack an enemy, it will then cause additional damage of 8% of its own health to the main target. So all you can see here is you're going to be a little bit tanky here, but also allowing you to deal additional damage to the main target. This more or less is the one I say is in that good little ball game of being a little bit at least attack type, or at least attack side of things, while also having that lovely defense side of things, having a little bit more sustainability for this character. And boy, do you need it, because Makoto's team is very much so squishy, and the same does apply with Vino. Now, the actual universe card here, what it's actually going ahead and doing here is more than likely going to help you out a lot more for the defense decrease side of things. As I said earlier, it's mainly for a defensive type set, and when it's paired with control itself, it will decrease the main target's defense by 28% for 2 whole turns. Now, this is whenever you are using a skill that attacks them, so it will refresh itself multiple times as long as you're attacking, and you will be attacking quite a lot with Vino, seeing her actual skill rotation is 1313. Now, this is just one set effect that you very well could use that comes in handy here, and the other set effects, there are a couple that stay the same. Now, specifically, this universal card only will change once, but for the next card set, you don't actually have to change it all. You're actually going to be using a different card set called Prosperity. Now, the Prosperity card set is probably nothing new to a lot of people here, and I feel like a lot of you guys probably already know how it looks, but I'm going to pull it up for you guys right now, and let's go ahead and get scrolling here. But the Prosperity card set is going to look something like, if I can actually find it on my screen here, because that's the one that I'm looking for, and I'm surprisingly not able to find it currently. Oh, here it is. So it's going to look something like this here. If you go ahead and look for this card set, it's probably going to be the best one that you really want to look for. And the main reason for this one is because this one more or less is just a little bit less helpful than the last card set that I talked about, but it reduces your incoming damage by 8% as a 2 set effect. And then for the 4 set effect itself, you actually do recover 25% of your highlight charge when you're entering the battle. The issue why I don't like this actual card set too much is because the 4 set is pretty much like a trigger once type deal. You recover 25% of your highlight charge, but that's when you enter a battle. After that, it's pretty much not used anymore. You only get that 8% reduced incoming damage, which is a lot worse than the other card set. when it's actually paired with the actual departure card that we do have here, aka the universe card being this one, it does do a different set effect here, which increases all allies damage dealt by 8% for one whole turn when attacking an enemy. So this is something that, of course, that does help you a little bit more in terms of damage, and it does refresh itself every turn, so you will be attacking the enemy every turn, but I don't see it too worth it for the fourth set effect, of course. So the first set effect is probably the one that you want to have the most of. Now, if you're anyone like me who won't probably be getting Makoto, or who knows, I might get Makoto anyways on my global account, but let's say you're not lucky enough to get global, or at least not lucky enough to get Makoto on that account, don't worry, there is a set effect for you guys to use as well. A set that you guys really want to go ahead and look into is going to be this one right here, and that's mainly going to be the nuke set. Now, this nuke set here is actually pretty darn good. I did have her a whole set effect at one point, and maybe it's still down here. Yeah, because I have effect hit right here, and this is more or less what I was using before I got Makoto here. Reason being is because the nuke set not only increases your nuke damage by 10%, but for the fourth set effect, it actually deals 30% attack damage to the main target if the enemy is inflicted with elemental ailments. So with these ailments, or ailments, I don't know how, I always say it wrong somehow. I don't even know how I'm saying it wrong, but with this in account here, we're getting 30% more attack damage. Well, luckily for us with Vino, she's actually utilizing those type of status effects here all the time with her kit. So no matter what, if you're attacking with Vino, you're going to be getting that 30% extra damage, which is going to help her out quite a lot. Then of course, if we pair it with the other universe card, which would look like, let's go ahead and find the universe card here for you guys. It would look like this one here being Harmony. Harmony more or less is going to help you out even more so, because when it actually is paired with the Truth card set, it increases all your allies nuke damage by 5% for 2 whole turns. And then whenever we inflict an elemental ailment, we're actually going to be increasing, or every stack is then going to be counted independently. So we're going to be stacking this damage more and more on, depending on the amount of those little substats, or sorry, the amount of those side effects that we end up putting on the enemy that we have. So more little status effects, the more damage we get out of it. So it's more or less your damaging type set effect. But once again, the best set effect that I find out for this character is going to be this card set. As for the main stats that you guys really have to pay attention to, Sun's always going to be HP. For the Moon one, it really doesn't matter. I use attack here mainly just to get some extra damage off. You could either get HP on this one as well if you really want to, because HP is going to help you survive. It's not going to hurt you too much. And then of course your star is going to more or less want to be EHR, or ailment accuracy is how it's stated on at least the global side of things here. You're going to want to have this symbol here, or just EHR, whatever it's called in there, effect hit rate, and that is what you want to go for. This is really important because this one is her whole kit. She needs a lot of EHR no matter how you see it, so you really do want to have this one as the EHR stat effect. As for the Saturn piece here, you really can use anything here. I'm using the HP piece mainly because I do want to make sure she lives. Once again, you could use HP on both the Moon and the Saturn piece, or you can very well use attack HP, or you can use HP attack, or just attack. It honestly just depends on what you want for those main stats. The main two that of course that are going to be the, no matter what, just ones that you want to follow is always going to be the star, and always of course our HP one is always going to be a flat HP. So those are the only ones you really have to pay attention to. Now when it comes down to their substats for this character specifically, you need to make sure substat wise you need to get an EHR stat. So EHR is always going to be a huge deal, or ailment accuracy is always going to be a huge deal here. So that's going to be your first priority to get. Then afterwards, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can have a little bit of attack, you can have some defense, whatever you want. I have at least crit rate, some speed on here because you do want her to be a little bit fast to make sure she's getting off those debuffs, at least faster than your what's it called, than your DPS here. But I think the most safe thing to go for is EHR, maybe some HP and some defense. That will help you out quite a lot, especially when it comes down to building this character and making sure you do everything correctly. It's going to be a huge deal when it comes down to this character, so surely do keep that in mind. But that's all I have to say when it comes down to Vino. Now when it comes down to the Makoto side here, Makoto only has one artifact set that's actually really good for her here, and it's, to no one's surprise, going to be the nuke set. Now the nuke set, she doesn't get swapped off in the future or anything like that. No, none of that happens here. she will always be in your team this way as a new character. It's going to be using the awareness card and the truth set here. Main reason, of course, is the truth set is more than less helping you out a ton when it comes down to the damage side for nuke damage, while the awareness card set here, if it's paired with the truth set, is increasing your damage dealt by 12% when attacking enemies who are inflicted with status effects up to 2 stacks, aka the elemental ailment. This is what you guys are going to be going ahead and attacking with, and you get yourself an increased damage dealt bonus whenever you do this. Pretty simple, pretty easy, nothing too crazy to really blab on about. As for at least the actual main stats for this character, you want to make sure you have an HP main stat, a attack percentage or damage bonus. I currently use damage bonus, which is attack multi inside of global. You could use really attack percentage or attack multi. It honestly just doesn't affect too much. I think the damage numbers are slightly different, not by much. So you could use attack percentage or either damage bonus. Either one's good for you. And then for at least our actual star here, you want to make sure you're using crit damage. I'm using crit rate because at the time I did not have a 5-star weapon for her. Now that I have the 5-star weapon, I technically need to switch her to crit damage and focus more on the crit rate side of things, but I've been very lazy over here. But make sure you have a crit damage star instead of a crit rate star. And then for the planet, you want to make sure you are using an attack piece planet piece. This is more or less going to help you deal as much damage as possible and be very good for you. As for substats, try to focus hardcore, especially since if you have the 5-star weapon, you're going to be using a crit damage main stat piece. Focus hardcore on crit rate because you're mainly going to be focusing on that crit damage with this huge this huge card increase here. But focus on crit rate is going to be very, very helpful to do so. And if you can go ahead and also get crit damage, that will also be very helpful as well. It just honestly depends whatever you're doing. Then afterwards, you want to go ahead and focus on the attack side of things, some damage bonus, and maybe pierce rate. Pierce rate is probably going to be the best thing that you can get, or pin. That's going to be very, very helpful. If I said damage bonus again, I meant attack multi. Attack multi is going to be very helpful as well. Just make sure you get the ordinary DPS type set of things, and you should be golden as a damage checker. But with that all in mind here, that's everything I need to go over about the artifact sets for both of these characters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do smash that like button beforehand and consider subscribing if you are new. Peace out, you guys.